Hello everyone, Alistair Gold here. I'm back in the country, back in front of the blue wall. Pretty much actually the only proof, if it really was proof, that I've been away with Spurs on tour. German reporter from Bild just randomly rummaging around in his bag and producing this Kane number 9 Bayern shirt and saying, "Looks good, no?" Honestly, it became a little quirky catchphrase. I must admit that as journalists, there were only 4 of us left by that point. There were 6 of us in Australia, and it was knocked down to 4 in Singapore and Thailand. And yes, that did become a little catchphrase of our trip away. Looks good, no? Because it was just so weird. It was so weird, and it's such a strange way of reporting. It's what, a stunt, a publicity stunt. It's not something. Well, I guess I've seen some UK organisations, I guess, do that kind of thing to try and attract attention to something. Sometimes it's kind of more like betting company type stuff over here. Whereas, yeah, it was quite surprising to see it from newspaper reporter. But hey, kind of became the story himself more than anything, which is not what we tend to try and do as journalists. We kind of try to report on a story rather than become the story. But yeah, so the whole way that Bayern have gone about this and their media has been fascinating to watch as a journalist. It's so different to the way UK clubs go about things and UK media go about things. It's been, I think, to be fair, it seems like it's a tinge of arrogance in it, perhaps. I don't know, because it's different. Different countries have different cultures, they have different ways of doing things. Like, I'm sure the reporter that did that saw maybe no issue with it. I mean, obviously he had his accreditation revoked for the next 2 games. Obviously one didn't happen anyway in the press conferences, which, it's difficult. You can argue it maybe from a media perspective. You could maybe argue that was harsh. I'm sure fans would say otherwise. But yeah, it's a very different way of doing things. And the whole Bayern approach has been this really kind of aggressive stance of, we want him, he wants us, we're going to get him, we're confident it's going to happen. And it's just not a way that Premier League teams deal with it. Not a way I've ever seen. I'm trying to think if there's any English clubs that have done that. Sometimes an English manager will mention a player because they're kind of trapped into doing so in a way by a question asked. But it's almost like there's a big apologetic thing afterwards, whereas this isn't. This is completely unapologetic chasing after a player. And yeah, I mean, obviously with the stories about potentially, meetings with Kane in a house. It's claims. It's all very much claims in the media. But yeah, it does give this sense of quite an aggressive pursuing of a player. And Daniel Levy's claims of him maybe looking into tapping up aspects of it and all this sort of stuff. And there was the reports of that. I've never seen anything like it. Being on the other side of it as well is so weird. Seeing, let's be honest, most Spurs players in recent years, there haven't been too much demand for them. So to actually see this way of doing it, look, my view on it all with Harry Kane's decision on it all. I don't get it. I'm not going to go into it in great detail because I've said it in previous videos, but I understand Bayern are a massive club. Great history, great success, big Champions League contender, terrific fans, great fan base. I get all of that. I absolutely get all of that. However, I just think for brand Kane, I don't get moving to the Bundesliga. I don't get it. I get it's a great league. I don't get it from a global appeal for a player moving into that league. It's a well-watched league. It's a good league. Is it a globally watched league where everyone around the world watches that? No. Is it anywhere near the Premier League in terms of exposure? No. I can understand it from the Bundesliga's point of view. I think one of the comments from one of the people higher up at Bayern was, yeah, it would be great for the Bundesliga, and I think it would. Would it be so for Kane? I don't think so. of all the clubs you could have kind of put to me that, oh, Harry Kane might go there, I would not have expected in the past that to be somewhere that Harry Kane were to end up. Just purely because of that. You know, he's trying to really kind of create this massive global brand for himself. And I don't think moving to the Bundesliga does that for you. Again, I hope that doesn't offend any Bayern fans. If not, the Bayern fans will probably be watching this, because they are a massive club. They are. There's no getting away from that. And he could win the Champions League with them, and maybe that could be the motivation. But I don't get it as a whole product for him. And also, the other reason I really don't get moving there now is because of the absolute freedom that he has to pick anything he wants. He can go anywhere in January. He can talk to any foreign club in January. Next summer, he can pick any club in the world he wants to go to, and probably earn far, far more than he can get by moving now. I just wonder whether I don't know. And also, if he were to stay until next summer, that also gives him the idea, just that if there's any curiosity inside him of whether Postecoglou's football could actually bring him what has always been his real priority, was to win stuff and have success with Spurs. You know, maybe just that gives him a chance to at least have a look to see, yeah, okay, maybe that is going to work. You know, we've said it before that he's open to all eventualities. He's open to, if a bid is accepted by a club, he will talk to that club and he may go if he agrees with it. He is open to staying for another season and then going. And he is also believed to be open to seeing how things go at Spurs and then maybe considering signing a new deal later this year if things are going well. But yeah, I just feel like if he ends up at Bayern this summer, then obviously there'll be an aspect of Spurs felt that they had to accept a bid, which is so un-Daniel Levy-like. It's weird. And there's the other aspect is if there's something else to do with it. If there's, I don't know, whether there's like a financial aspect to it. Is there like a sponsorship side to it? Is there something that we're not aware of at this point? Is there some kind of, I don't know, some lucrative financial bonus of going there? And look, I'm not saying that, I guess I kind of am there, but I don't mean to really saying that Harry Kane is about the money, because I have never got that sense about him whatsoever. But I'm just trying to find some idea of why moving right now would be the right time to do it. I don't know. We'll see. But for me, from the Tottenham point of view, I wouldn't sell. We've seen how Spurs have taken big money for their top players and gone, yay, woo, and just thrown it in the air and gone, oh no, we've lost it all. And they have just wasted it. I have very little faith that Spurs would be able to adequately replace Harry Kane. I don't think you can. I think you would have to have the most incredible recruitment system to unearth maybe a couple of talents, an attacking midfielder and a striker that could combine to reproduce what he does. And I just don't think Spurs have proved to have that recruitment system over recent years. I still think, and I'll bang this drum until my hands fall off, that I think financially it also doesn't actually make sense, because I think you've got more of a chance of getting in the Champions League and making back the same kind of money anyway, and thus in the process convincing Kane to stay because you've done well and you've kind of improved and you've gone in the right direction, than you do just selling him. I don't get it. Yeah, and if it happens, I will be very confused. I will have a very confused face on.